Локер из Рорикстеда.
Нет, я не мятежник! Вы не имеете права!
Стой!
Я вам не дам!
Лучники! Кто еще хочет поспорить?
Постойте-ка. Эй, ты! Шаг вперед. А кто ты?
My reverence to all enthusiasts of ranged combat. I am Neonic and you are watching the tutorial about finding the appropriate offset values for aim fix setup. The characters you see are the basic archetypes of fantasy heroes, a process of accuracy research using magic and ranged weapon they will demonstrate you. I know that a white orc looks like a warrior berserk who doesn't need a crosshair at all, but let him stay, maybe he will have something to show you. Well, let's choose one of them and begin our research of the aiming accuracy. Investigating the issues in Skyrim, I noticed that some hidden factors distort the trajectory of arrows and spells, thus creating an invisible aiming point displaced in an unknown direction from the crosshair, which always remains in its place. Technically, the aiming accuracy is affected by almost all the factors in the game: mods, Skyrim INI parameters, properties of the ESM master files, and by the in-game actions. The aimfix mode provides full control over the crosshair for situations when the offset occurs, in accordance with the character's position, camera view and the type of attack. Okay, you don't need to have so many mods as shown here to see a similar situation in your game when you aim at the same place and the hit points are different for each the character's position and type of attack. Perhaps while playing you didn't saw that third-person camera settings have greatly affected the aiming accuracy. Let's estimate the aiming accuracy for the centered camera above the character. We choose a fixed distance and make sure that the settings affecting the vertical accuracy are set to 0. Biased hit point observed here is related to the spell cast animation mode. Let's see how the Skyrim's INI tilt-up angle parameter affects the hit point. Here I use a preselected value and, as always, we aim at the center of the target. This hit accuracy, achieved using the tilt-up angle, will only work for a fixed distance. But the hit point is still shifting in both directions from the crosshair in a very far distance. Also, when camera is centered above the character, the tilt-up angle parameter does not solve the problem with shooting at close distance. Now we're gonna try to correct the vertical aiming accuracy by adjusting the aimfix vertical offset instead of the tilt-up angle. As you saw, we tried to correct the aiming accuracy in different ways, but the result turned out to be the same. And this fact leads us to a conclusion that third-person centered camera above the character is not suitable for ranged combat in the game. Now let's adjust camera position to over the shoulder and simultaneously find out how the camera height affects the vertical aiming accuracy. We spatially aiming a bow to make the spell projectile hit at the same level with the center of a target. The crosshair goes down with the camera, and the projectile continues to hit the same point. Now we're gonna use this to achieve the camera height at which the crosshair will be at the level of target's center. We will adjust the crosshair horizontal offset, and as an example of possible ways of setting the aim fix, we will leave the vertical offset to be 0, because the current camera height has replaced this setting, and for a more accurate correction, we will adjust the tilt-up angle. As you can see, using the position of the camera, we have achieved the best possible vertical accuracy at all distances and without auto-aim. So over-the-shoulder camera view is suitable for ranged combat and not worse than the first-person view. You probably noticed the aiming accuracy research shown here is performed with the auto-aim turned off. You can also turn off auto-aiming in your game, because it makes ranged combat unfair by generating false positive hits and you start to think that you are a good archer. So decide for yourself who you are actually in Skyrim. Since with the aim-fix mod you have complete control over the archery physics behavior, I recommend to reduce the tilt-up angle parameter to 0, especially if you prefer to increase the speed of the arrows. In the vanilla Skyrim without mods, the vertical deviation between the aiming and hit points is actually pretty close to realism, so if you don't know how low the arrow should fall at chosen distance, I recommend you to take a screenshot in vanilla Skyrim with a hit and a target in order to use it as a clue. Before you find suitable offsets for aim fix, let's see how the mods can affect on the aiming accuracy. To find the correct offsets for the aim fix, we will build a horizontal and vertical axis literally by hitting the target surface with the arrows. It's very simple to perform, and it helps to understand what actually the offset is. First, we make a shot with the 0 horizontal offset and get the hit point distorted by the mods and without auto-aim. The modified offset value causes the crosshair to move slightly, and then again we aim at the center to make a shot with the new offset. Every time we change the offset value, the crosshair moves to this offset, and before the next shot we start aiming at the center again. We repeat these sections until we find the offset at which the aiming and hitting points converge on same line with the center of a target. Looks like a hit point with the value of -8 is suitable. We successfully built a horizontal offset axis. Now the hunters will go and look which arrow is closest to the center. As you can see, the arrows are unevenly distributed. This happened cause I aimed like a middling archer, and without auto-aim of course. Now we just count the arrows and use the number closest to the center to adjust the horizontal aim fix offset. To build the vertical offset axis, we do the same thing as for the horizontal. Let's watch this in a shortcut. -3 fits the archery physics at the current shooting range. Making some additional corrections to the aim fix offset, and now we see the result. Nicely done! We tune up the aiming accuracy for a bow in third-person camera. As for shooting on horseback, I think it will be fine if the arrow hit straight in the crosshair, considering a higher position of an archer. Here you will see how works a fully configured aim-fix mod. This episode was recorded in one go, so there is no video tricks. The hunter shoots with the same accuracy as I am doing it by aiming using a mouse. Each arrow hits a slightly different point, as it should be with real archery. By using previously shown method, you can find the offsets for other positions, weapons and camera views. Within the rules and game boundaries, some aspects of real combat can often be omitted to make gameplay more dynamic and fluid, and Skyrim have a great opportunity to change it using the mods. In close combat, the aiming accuracy is not as important as the radius of attack. For future versions of the aim-fix mod, I have ideas to make the attack radius individually adjustable for certain type of weapon and for mounted combat as well. I really need your support to continue developing the aim-fix mod, and you will see many new interesting features for combat.
Excellent bird.
That's all I wanted to tell you in this tutorial. I wish you a fortunate research of the aiming accuracy in your game and discovering the rest by yourself. Farewell and good hunting!